Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But you know, now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you acting all brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that is a comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with phonics. Loose off of Jan Ricky's.
Alrighty, so I wasn't actually gonna get into this right away. I was gonna wait until the whole process was over with, just because the shit didn't look like it was gonna actually pan out or whatever. But you know, developments have happened, so on and so forth. But do expect a whole, excuse me, like a whole large video going over this saga later on down the line. In any case, let's go ahead and cut all the talking and get to the talking. And let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, best beverage company ever. Here we go. So, I'm a little bit under the weather, a little bit, just a tad bit, I'm getting better. And we're like halfway through Goutmas. And speaking of which, to the people that I reached out to, I appreciate y'all patience or whatnot and giving me a chance to get back to you and all of that. I really appreciate it. For some of y'all who weren't able to do it because of the time frame and all of that, I roger that. I'll catch up to y'all next year. So no biggie. But I appreciate you just considering my offer. So big ups on that. I guess with that being said, what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about DSP allegedly being ghosted by Asmongold, which was complete and utter fucking clickbait, because really what it comes down to is DSP didn't get his response from Asmon as quickly as he felt that he should. Womp, 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 womp. You know, supposed businessman, professional, organized, autism, so on and so forth, whatever. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get to our situation at hand and go into my favorite segment. Hopefully your favorite segment as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. So, DSP allegedly getting ghosted by Asmon and this whole interview itself and so on and so forth. I wanted to wait and just do and go over the saga as a whole, which I still might, because whatever we're about to go over now and the video that's going to follow this up and how I feel after the interview on Monday, the 24th. I'm currently recording this on the 20th. My opinions may change as it usually does. To be honest, DSP is a hoe. To make a long story short, DSP is a hoe. I personally found how he acted, or how he's been acting, as it pertains to this stuff, pretty distasteful. It's kind of lame. It's kind of hoish. It doesn't have the payoff that he thinks it's going to. And that, and that's in part because of the mistakes that he made only a couple years ago, ladies and gentlemen, with the Side Scrollers interview, and how him and Stuttering Craig had that situation, and then the whole thing with Kino Casino. It's just that right there will be the tail of the tape on what happens on Monday the 24th, as far as I'm concerned, whether Asmon knows that stuff or not. Asmon deals with bullshitters on a regular basis. He'll sit there and listen to and entertain DSP's bullshit. He'll toy with him, and then he'll cast him off and go back to the real content that his audience is there for. At the end, and let me put an emphasis on this, ladies and gentlemen, DSP doesn't look at Asmongold doesn't look at DSP as a person. He's just content. He's just another thing to react to and then move on. He's only, in my own personal opinion, the only reason why Asmongold is even doing this is because he got 1 million views off of DSP, 1 million plus. 1 million plus views off of DSP in 24 hours. And he's just going to throw DSP a bone. That's all he's doing. Asmon's like, yeah, I made about 20 plus thousand off of you. You know, actual money. I made 20 plus K off of you. Sure, I'll throw you, you know, a half hour. That's what the meme's going on right now. But between a half hour and 2 hours talking to you, I guess. Whatever. It is what it is. And for DSP, he's going to try to somehow extract not only an apology, not only recognition and acknowledgement, but he wants I want to say retribution, which DSP will do that eventually because he's petty. But he wants reparations. He wants social reparations, and he thinks if he can get it from someone like Asmongold, like how he attempted to get that from Moist Critical before that, like how he attempted to try to get that from Medicare before that, like how he attempted to, so on and so forth. Asmongold is just the next person up to the chopping block, but it's not really a chopping block. It's a dunking booth, and DSP's in the fucking tank, and he's gonna get sunk, and that's really all this comes down to. It's no more complicated than that. And I got to be honest with you, I don't even know if it's even going to be worthwhile, given that DSP's penchant for lying. Now, I haven't actually seen this clip yet. Big ups to Diggs, so we'll see what's what. But I would assume DSP is just going to give him the same copy-paste bullshit that he did the side scrollers. If that's the case, then Asmongold could just watch that, react to that, and then there you go. But DSP doesn't really want that, because then it's like, well, when Asmon finds out that I lied to them for 5+ hours, how's that going to make me look? It's going to make you look like the fucking jealous psychopath ex-girlfriend that you've already been acting like. You know what I'm saying? My understanding is that DSP's message, which led to DSP's bitch fit, which led to Twitter actually getting a hold of this, not the Tractor Twitter, just Twitter in general getting a hold of this, which led to Asmongold actually responding, comes from the fact that Asmon said that he didn't even see DSP's message. It went to a spam folder. It didn't hit his main messages. It didn't hit his messages on hold. It went to spam. Now, I don't know how, now Asmon has a blue check mark. I don't know how that works on X or anything, so I can't speak to that. But walk with me on this. What if Asmongold is one of the many people that DSP stays up till 10 o'clock trying to message to get to talk to him? Let's say DSP's been doing that for months. Let's say DSP's been doing that for the last couple of years. And that's why his message was considered spam. That's the reason why Asmongold had to dig through that spam folder to find it. Because not only does Asmon get a lot of people who reach out to him daily, obviously, but if you're someone who I would assume frequently tries to reach out to him and he doesn't respond to it, then eventually it gets classified as a sorry. It eventually gets classified as spam. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think, how many times do you think DSP has messaged Asmongold in the last 3 months, 6 months, last year, maybe the last 2? Certainly during the Kino Casino arc. And that's why he don't ever want to name names. That's the reason why he don't ever want to hint to who it is. Because he's already tried to go at all the big guys. And now, for the first time, this is the one guy he was able to get to bite. And even if he gets completely embarrassed or humiliated come Monday, it doesn't matter because, well, I got Asmongold to talk to me. So Moist Critical, you think you're better than Asmongold? Oh, Max and Justin Wong, you guys think you're better than Asmongold? You see what I'm saying now? Oh, LTG, you think you're better than Asmongold? That's what the new thing's going to be. Now that he secured it, now it's all about utilitarianism. How can we use it? How can Asmongold be useful to us after the interview, after the humiliation session that DSP is willingly putting himself on the altar for? I want you to think about that very, very carefully. Not too carefully. If this goes out on Friday, I want you guys to enjoy your weekend. In any case, thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk and so on and so forth. And let's go ahead and move on with this. Getting knee deep into this, into my tea here from SnortBucks Coffee Company, best beverage company. Feel a lot better actually. It's actually green tea. Well, it is green tea and whatnot. I don't think I have that matcha tea right now. That I probably shouldn't be drinking. I should just be drinking hot tea at this moment. So that's the thing. Let's see here. DSP playing chess. I guess he thinks he's playing chess. Anywho, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's go ahead and jump into our video here. And let's see what we have. Where are we at with this? Okay. This should be it, ladies and gentlemen. This should be it. All right. So, without further ado, let's get into proper introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Raw Phil. Big ups to Diggs for cutting this. DSP speaks on Asmongold ghosting him, and they're ghosting him and their interview, and gives him an ultimatum. What the hell did they give him an ultimatum for? And I guess DSP gave him an ultimatum. Whatever. This is from November 18th. This is from November 18th of 2025, year of the snake. And that's it, guys. Like I was saying, like I'm gonna try to keep the energy up for this. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. The Level 1 podcast has returned, and we got a lot to talk about today, including updates on Asmongold.
I find it really weird how you can come on stream every day and tell everybody you're winning, and you look like this. Great screenshot, by the way. Great screenshot. Holy shit. But yeah, I'm really shocked that on how this is a thing, by the way. This seems wild to me.
Who ghosted me?
Is this supposed to be funny? And keep in mind, my understanding is DSP is slowly but surely trying to change the narrative that his audience wanted this. His audience was the one who pushed for this. Asmongold reached out to him to actually do the interview. He really wants to talk to DSP. You know, you're seeing how the narrative is being changed. Speaking of which, none of you could look at that man's face and tell me that he hasn't had a stroke, that he probably hasn't had a couple. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to take that into consideration.
Also, we'll talk about Wings of Redemption and his upcoming appearance on the show. But actually, sorry, my hair's all screwed up now. The major focus of today is actually to talk about the Game Awards. The Game Awards nominees were actually announced yesterday. And what we will do today is go through said nominees and see what we think. It's always interesting to take a look at what a group of very inclusive leftist journalists think are great games. It's always fascinating looking at these nominations lists. You know what I mean?
And that's the reason why he didn't make it in politics, because all he does is listen to other people. He doesn't have an actual original thought of his own. So that's the reason why DSP politics failed, which is the reason why people like me told you it was going to fail and whatnot, because he can't stand his ground on nothing. He's a man without a country. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't bleed red. He doesn't bleed green. He don't bleed shit. He doesn't bleed anything. He bleeds what you need him, what he thinks you want him to bleed. He's useless. He's absolutely fucking useless.
But in reality, I've heard some of the nominations, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, because this year, I've actually either touched upon, played, or know all the games, which is a rarity. I think it's because this year I'm a PC gamer.
About as rare as you touching upon your wife, so yeah, I guess that is a thing.
So we'll talk about that, okay? So, today should be a great one. Sit back and relax. Ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that. Look at that. Literally mid-speech of the beggar's prayer. Good God. Good God.
It is time for another awesome edition of the Level 1 podcast, if I can find the button. All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. Today, sorry, I'm laughing. I'm reading the stream chat. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of November, 2025. I'm DSP, and this is the return of the Level 1 podcast. Haven't been around for a couple of days, but now we're back, and we got a bunch of fresh topics to talk about today. Notably, let's just talk about this one at the very top of the show and get it out of the way. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my guest on today's episode of the Level 1 podcast, Asmongold.
It's amazing how it's really amazing how sad it is that he doesn't like. It's really sad that he doesn't. He's so unaware of how unfunny he is, or how uncharismatic that he is. Just because you can get a bunch of like mentally and physically disabled people to give you money doesn't make you special. It doesn't make you unique. It doesn't make you an attraction. You know what I'm saying? You're not a commodity. You know what I mean? Like, you don't bring anything to the table. You don't produce anything but slop. It's really amazing how you don't see it. And to be honest with you, this is actually a great screenshot, because if we just went ahead and, you know, turned him facing us, that's what he would look like every time he's begging for money for food daily. You know what I'm saying? To play games, all of that. He's literally a beggar in the most literal sense. It's kind of sad that, you know what I'm saying, that your mother and father ain't sat there and worked their lives to give you a good life, and this is how you came out. Like, they didn't instill any type of dignity, respect, pride, nothing in you at all. So now you're begging, like I said, the mentally and physically disabled online to make a living. And now you're begging other content creators to just to talk to you. Just to talk to you. Not even collaborations. You know what I'm saying? Not even a joint working towards a joint effort, or contributing to a joint effort. You're begging for people just to talk to you. That's what this is. Damn.
Or I would have been saying that if he had actually lived up to what he said he was going to do. Just to give you a follow-up, he wanted, well, I contacted him and said, listen.
See, he's already changing the narrative. He's already has it in his head that he wasn't the one who wanted to do all this, that Asmongold was the pursuer, that he was the aggressor. Asmon is a sloth, and I'm sure he won't take no disrespect to it. He's a sloth. Sloth. He doesn't move for nobody. He does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Look at how long he's had, for example, Asmongold has had Hassan Piker up his ass for the better part of like a year. It may have been a little bit longer than that, but at least a year since Hassan has been really, really mad at Asmon and all of the attention that he gets. And Asmon don't move for Hassan. He does what he wants. Because Hassan has been fucking itching to get Asmon into like a debate type situation. And Asmon ain't gonna move on it because he don't have to. And you want to know what's even more realistic about that situation, or what's more pragmatic? Hassan understands it. He understands that he can't make Asmon do anything. He has to basically sit back and wait. He has to just keep it pushing until he says the one thing that he thinks that can trigger Asmon to actually do so. Other than that, Asmongold doesn't need to move for nobody. He don't have to. That's why he lives the way he lives, because he doesn't have to change up his lifestyle for anybody. He can just do what he wants. He's at the point where he generates the type of money to where he can do so.
Let's have a conversation about all this stuff that you're watching.
I guess you could say the literal definition of living comfortably.
In these detractor videos, because it is out of context. You believe it at face value. Give me a fair shot rather than just blatantly and blindly believing what people say about me.
Now, this part's important. I'm going to bring this part back because I talked too damn much. But I want you to, but this template that he's using here is the same template that he probably uses with all these guys. Hey, you guys don't give me a fair shake. You guys aren't giving me a fair shot. You just believe what's being said out there, but no one wants to talk to me because no one needs to talk to you. Because first off, you're not a man. 2, you're not worth anybody's time. And 3, your content. You don't have to give content any more life or validity or respect than what it is. You take it at face value, you say what you got to say, and you move on. DSP wants to be looked at as more than that, despite the fact that he could never live up to that. But I want you to take this all in, because that's how I'm pretty confident how he approaches all these different people that he's so desperate to talk to and to acknowledge him in his existence.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my guest on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Oh, yes, and I did go back this far on purpose. I want you to see this tism here.
Asmongold. Or I would have been saying that if he had actually lived up to what he said he was going to do. Just to give you a follow-up, he wanted, well, I contacted him and said, listen, let's have a conversation about all this stuff that you're watching in these detractor videos because it is out of context. You believe it at face value. Give me a fair shot rather than just blatantly and blindly believing what people say about me.
Imagine trying to dictate to another person what they should watch. Think about that. Imagine dictating to somebody else, right, who's far bigger than you, far more successful than you, right, who's clearly done something right, no matter how they got there. They clearly did something right, or some things right. You dictating to them what they should watch and what they shouldn't. Yikes. So while you're out here begging for pittance, you know what I'm saying? For these paltry amounts and whatnot, you got the nerve to fucking tell someone else who's set for life multiple times over what they need to do, what they should do, what they should be watching, what they should be reacting to. Wow.
Surprisingly enough, he said, I agree. And we were going back and forth in Twitter DMs about when, okay? On Sunday, he had apologized to me and said, I'm sorry I didn't directly respond to you yet. But
I extra doubt on that. I doubt Asmongold went ahead and looked at his messages and said apologize for not seeing it. I doubt he did that.
I will.
And the reason why I say that is not only the fact that DSP is a pathological liar, but it's weird that every person that DSP seems to be trying to get in contact with, if they do respond to him, they always seem to start off with an apology, and then they give their reasoning why. That just doesn't sound right. It really don't. Like, they don't know you. You know what I'm saying? You need them, not the other way around.
Let you know, by the end of Monday, if we can do the show on Tuesday, because that was the date that I had pitched to him. I said, let's do it on Tuesday, which would have been right now. And he says, I will absolutely let you know by the end of Monday, if I'm available on Tuesday. He said he actually should be, but he didn't want to 100% lock it in until he was absolutely positively sure he could do it.
So you didn't get the subtleties in that, hey, I might reach out to you, I might not? Like, he didn't guarantee you anything, he didn't promise you nothing, whatever of whatever. Okay, whatever.
Okay, so nothing was ever set in stone, but that's what
So then what the hell did he apologize to you for then, Phil, if nothing was set in stone? If he lived up to what he said he was going to do, if nothing was set in stone, then what was there to live up to, Phil? Womp womp. I mean, he started off lying, right? So the fact that all this stuff is already slowly falling apart and we're less than 3 minutes in doesn't surprise me. Well, you're probably a little bit further than that. It's probably 20-something minutes in at my point, but you know what I mean.
Say. All day yesterday, you guys kept asking me about it, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. He hasn't locked it in yet. He hasn't responded again. He hasn't said yes or no, so I can't tell you guys anything either way. Until I actually get an answer from this guy, I don't know what's going on. And we waited all day, and I streamed all day, and nope, didn't respond. So that's that. Now, here's the thing about Asmongold, if many of you don't know. He is a current event cover guy. Like, literally anything that happens in the news, in the politics, in the media, he's covering. Today, I believe there is the vote in the United States government for if they're going to be revealing the Henry Epstein files. And will the files, if revealed...
Who the fuck is Henry Epstein? You mean Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, what, do you sympathize with old Jeffrey before he had sat there and taken that front flip off that top bunk and shit? Oh, that's right, Phil. I forgot. You have a soft spot for pedophiles. So I got it. You don't say no more.
Will they contain critical info exposing politicians and showing that they were on Epstein Island and in cahoots with the evil Henry Epstein? Who will be exposed? Sounds like a lot of drama, doesn't it?
So it sounds like a bunch of drama that little girls from the ages of, 8 to like 15? Some people think some of the girls were younger than that. Were being abducted from wherever the fuck they were being abducted from, taken over there and being abused in all kinds of fucking variety of ways and shit and whatnot. And it's drama because people want to know who these people are and be identified and be brought to justice. And that's drama. But then again, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the same guy who defended a pedophile for 20-something plus minutes. You know what I'm saying? 3 people had to be on his ass about that shit. He sat there and lied and said he knew nothing about it. Then he ended up admitting, oh, well, he knew about it for 2 years. Then he ended up further admitting that he knew it for actually a bit longer than that. On top of the fact that he stopped following that same pedophile on Twitter because he was tired of seeing what the guy was talking about and looking at, and he didn't shut his fucking Twitch down. DSP shut his Twitch fucking account down just so he could continue to protect this pedophile. But it sounds like a bunch of drama, though. This Henry Epstein, whatever the fuck that is. I didn't know Jeffrey Epstein's middle name was Henry, but this Henry Epstein nonsense, I guess. Wow, okay.
It sounds like the plot to some like cheesy.
But then again, if you're someone who have groomed young girls yourself, like DSP has, you would feel. I mean, maybe yet again, you'd be sympathetic to this shit.
Sleazy TV drama show, fucking Desperate Housewives, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital nonsense, doesn't it? But this is what's going on in American politics right now. Okay, so people like Asmongold, and not just him, but many other streamers cover this shit daily, and this is how they get popular. All right, I'm not shit talking that at all. I'm just saying that's what they do. So with this going on right now, it's kind of like, oh well, on a day when.
So then, how are you going to get mad at Asmongold? Sorry, Asmongold. How are you going to get mad at Asmongold for calling you an e-beggar when that's literally what you do? And then you say, oh, well, all the popular streamers do it. Well, one, you're not popular. And two, the popular streamers don't need to do that. Okay. I guess we don't know what... I guess his definition of popular and my definition are probably different.
Probably not a lot was going on. He was watching my detractor content, and he was interested in it. But now there's crazy other stuff that's more interesting going on, and that's what he's more interested in now. And then tomorrow, something else might happen, and he'll be more interested in that. That's how he is. That's how a lot of content creators are. They try to jump from topic to topic, stay on the hot trend or whatever, okay? So I'm definitely not faulting Asmongold for essentially ghosting me and not responding like he said he would yesterday. But at the same time, this makes it obviously difficult to work with a guy like that.
Well, then if that's the case, then why are you still pursuing it then? If the guy is untrustworthy and basically a drama whore, basically the way you're making it sound, why do you have so much emphasis on this, on him letting you down and him not living up to his word and, and all of this and all of these extras, if it doesn't mean anything? If you understand who the person is and what they do, why did you have such high expectations? You said it wasn't set in stone. You said that he didn't give you anything definitive. Maybe he doesn't know what definitive means. That's possible.
Because you don't know if you can trust him or not. He said he was going to show up, or at least let me know if he was going to show up, and then he just blew it off. So I don't know.
There's a whole lot of doublespeak going on right now.
Some people have explained it to me that Asmongold basically deals with this kind of stuff live on stream. So he very much right now might be sent this clip saying, hey, Phil talked about you on stream. He'll watch it. Then he'll go to his Twitter DMs and then he'll respond.
But that's not even how he got your first message. On top of that, didn't you start this off by saying, for some of you who don't know how Asmongold does his content, now you're saying that other people prepped you on how Asmongold does his content. So you're just as ignorant as the people that you're trying to educate. The fuck? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
If that's the case, okay, I get it. But he did say that he was going to respond yesterday and he didn't. That's black and white. Okay.
So, and yet again, just imagine how petty you must be to a person you don't know. You're not friends with this person. You're not even an acquaintance. And you take literally everything that they say literally. Everything. Hey, man, I might be able to get a hold of you tomorrow or whatnot. We'll see how it goes. Stuff happens, you know what I'm saying? We'll see. Okay. And then the next day comes, he's like, well, he said he was going to reach out to me. I don't understand. What's going on? He promised me. He lied to me, guys. The fuck? You know what kind of loser that makes you sound like? You literally sitting next to your fucking DMs and shit, hoping for him to fucking message you back? That's not bitch made. I don't know what is.
So here's what I've pitched. All right. Next week, Monday or Tuesday, whichever works for him. All right. So that'd be what? November 24th.
Jasper looked pissed. He looked like he looking for something to fuck up. He's like, let's see, which wire could be chewed on next? Yes. What outlet could be pissed on? Yeah, so many choices. what should I get my cat? What deserves a good hairball these days? So many options, so many choices.
Or 25th, whatever. One of those days, I would like to do the co-stream as we had discussed. Okay, and if he can do it, then great. And if he can't, no big deal. No, and I mean it too. Like, sure, it would be a great opportunity to appear on a show with that much viewership and get that much attention on myself and my content. But at the same time, it's not the end all be all. It's not the end of the world. I don't really care either way. To be frank with all of you, I don't. You guys care a lot more than I do. You
really? Yet you're the one who makes it sound like he had broken some major promise to you, some type of established trust that you guys had and whatnot. He don't know you, and you don't know him. And I love how he's trying to put the emphasis on, oh, well, see, it's not about me. I did all this for y'all. I'm trying to get y'all together. I'm trying to get this whole thing to happen for y'all. I don't care about this at all and shit. I don't give a shit about none of this. Even though he's been stewing on this shit for what? In as a whole, I should say. He's been mad at Asmon for 2 or 3 years. He's been stewing on the last reaction that Asmon had at this particular point for damn near, what, a week? And probably less than that. You're the one who sat there and had your little bitch fit blow up on stream and whatever. You're the one who sent him supposedly some angry DM message on Twitter calling him a bitch and he needs to talk to you and all this other lame ass shit. That was you. You wanted this. You're the one who went out there and antagonized for this. You're the one that went ahead and got in basically. It's funny because you and Jenna have a lot in common. You're the one who sat there and got on your knees on these internet streets and was willing to suck dick for some attention. But now we have to backtrack and put it on the dents, put it on the fucking mouth droolers and say, you guys wanted this. It's for your benefit, not mine. I don't care either way. Like I said, man, that doublespeak is crazy.
You guys have literally been nonstop bringing this up. Jasper, you got my mic all wet with your nose. You got my mic wet with your nose. Come on, buddy.
Look at how primitive caveman this is. We couldn't get a tissue or something, bro? No, we're going to use the sleeve of your fucking, what? Fucking Plato's Closet, fucking secondhand store, fucking dress down shirt and shit? With your pajama bottoms and shit? This is what we're doing? Wow, okay.
Don't do that. Anyway, so that was cute.
Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, he wipes his nose with that same sleeve. So somewhere down the line, that day, he ain't sat there and got himself basically a nose full of fucking Jasper's dried up snot. Well done, Phil. Well done.
You nut. He's distracting me. Okay. So, I actually lost my train of thought. Oh, to me, it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, it's interesting to do something like this, but at the same time, if it doesn't happen, I don't care. Like, I have tons of things to do. I'm juggling various different games in my schedule. You know, I'm fine. It's not a big deal. All right. Like I said, you guys have been bringing this up way more than me daily. Like every day, people in the chat. What about Asmongold? Asmongold. I don't know. I'm not Asmongold. Like, go ask him. Like, actually, that's a good point.
And it's funny too because it's like the old narrative, right? Where like I want to say the boy who cried wolf, but it's really the kid who causes the fire. He starts the fire and shit, and then he runs to get everybody else and shit to come look at it. And then he's like, I don't understand what the big deal was. Everybody was yelling and screaming, so I came over here to see what was going on, despite the fact that he was the one who started the shit. He's really childlike like that if you think about it. Fucking A.
You guys actually want to know what's going on with Asmongold? You should probably go watch him and ask him, because I don't know what's going on with him. I'm doing my own content.
Funny enough, right? This is actually the same tactic he used against John Rambo later on. It's in one of the Ask the Kings from like 2015, I want to tell you, where people in his audience was asking, hey, when are you going to do content with John? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? This isn't the exact time that he read John's text messages. That came later. But it was one of the previous ones before that, where he was like, yeah, hey, I don't know what's going on with John. You know, I'm busy. I'm doing this, that, and the third. You reach out to John. You find out what he's doing or whatever, and maybe he'll get a hold of me. He's doing the exact same thing here. And what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? The same thing I keep telling y'all. The way DSP does anything is the way he does everything. If he can't get to you directly, he'll go through other people to try to get to you if he can. And that's just what he does. Because he can't handle rejection. So if he gets, and then he'll sit there and twist it and be like, well, you know, hey, you guys kept asking for John. I'm interested. I'm already doing my other stuff. If he does come along, cool. But I'm already doing other things. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the content that I'm putting out for you guys every day. When in actuality, he's the one who, quote unquote, started all the pig whistling to get people to harass him to answer back to answer his messages and shit. It's crazy. Amusing, but crazy.
You know what I mean? And it does seem like that's when publicly on his streams, he talks about all this stuff. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe, like I said, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, whatever, he'll actually start talking about it. But right now, so anyway, that's what I pitched to him. I said, listen, Monday or Tuesday next week, right, on the show, let's have you as a guest. We'll co-stream or whatever. And there you go. Okay? It's that simple. So business as usual for me. Rest of this week will be very normal. All right, as usual. And we'll see what happens if he responds by next week. And if not, oh well. No big deal. Okay? Now, one person actually made a good point last night on my late stream. They said, but what about Wings of Redemption? Because you're talking about having him on the show.
Wings of Redemption got reduced to bottom bitch status. What the fuck you mean? What about Wings of Redemption? What happened? Wings of Redemption got into the bitch seat in the exact same way that those two unnamed people who probably didn't even exist, but those two unnamed people who wanted to do a documentary or do some type of co-op or who wanted to do some type of collaboration or interview with DSP, like how they got dropped for fucking side scrollers. Same concept. Now, truth be told, those other two people probably didn't even exist. But DSP tried to swing it as such. He tried to promote it as, hey, I got two other people who want to do something with me, so on and so forth. Now, granted, he didn't do that to try to hype up his appearance for side scrollers. He actually did that to try to hype up or to try to hold on to Moist Critical's attention. But Moist didn't care, because why would he? Like, what is that? Oh, you got two people who want to interview you? Fine, go ahead and do that. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? For Moist Critical, didn't mean anything. So, in the moment that side scrollers came into basically our frame, if you will, DSP dropped those two just as quickly, if they even existed. And so the same thing with fucking Jordy. Jordy's just, he's not an heir, he's a spare. You know? He's there, when the fucking ice breaks, you know what I'm saying, Jordy's fucking dumbass will sit there to break fucking DSP's fall. That's all he's there for. Yet again, utilitarianism. You have to serve a purpose. And that's what Jordy's purpose is. He's turned into that old stinky sock that's very comfortable for DSP to fucking slide his hooves in when he needs to make himself feel better. That's all he's really been reduced to. Which is unfortunate, but, you know, lol cows eating other lol cows is a thing. So don't have too much sympathy for anybody.
Show again. And we were interested in when he was coming on, and you had even pitched 2 dates, but nothing, there hasn't been like a locked-in follow-up or anything. You're right, there hasn't been. So basically, here's what happened. I pitched 2 dates to Wings. I said either Monday, November 24th, or December 1st. Either one would work. First, he didn't respond, and eventually he did, and said, hey, you decide. Okay? So I hadn't actually locked in and confirmed with him the date yet. I actually, I talked to you guys, and you guys seem to be under the impression, have him on sooner rather than later.
So you're having a bitch fit because Asmongold isn't getting back to you. And that same behavior he's allegedly exhibiting to you, you're doing the same thing to Wings. Why are you even telling us this? Why are you even telling us this?
And I was like, oh, okay, we could do that. But I hadn't actually talked to him again to confirm that. So there hasn't been a, yes, 100% he'll be on this date. Obviously now, with all this crap going on with Asmongold, it throws a monkey wrench into those plans. Like, I 100% would love to say with you guys, he'll be on Monday the 24th. But I don't know what's going on.
I'll tell you this right now. I kind of think that DSP doesn't really want to talk to Wings anymore. because he didn't get anything out of that exchange anyway. Don't worry, that's coming. That interview is, I'm going to go over it and whatnot. It's coming. But I hope to have it out by the end of the month. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping to have it out by the end of November. But I don't think he wants nor does he need wings anymore. He talked to him once. He could put his ass in the box, and he can pull him out whenever he needs them later. But right now, DSP is like any fucking social climber, onwards and upwards. And if he's got Asmongold, why would you backtrack towards wings? I want you to think about that. Why would you backtrack towards wings if you've just secured Asmongold? You know what I'm saying? Or at least in DSP's mind. Because I'm thinking, excuse me, what I'm thinking is, if he can get Asmongold, and if that shit actually, blows up or does well, then he thinks he can get Moist Critical. If he can get Moist Critical, then he's thinking, excuse me, he thinks he can go ahead and double back and try to get Maximilian Dude and or Justin Wong. And if he thinks he can secure those guys, then maybe he can try to fit LTG in. And then, more importantly than all of that, believe it or not, then he thinks he can shove all of this into Side-Scroller's face and show, see, look at what I did on my own. Think about what you guys could have had if you had given me a chance. Because the majority of this bullshit really does stem from Side-Scrollers. And they live rent-free in his fucking head. So DSP will do whatever he can to get back at them. Even more so than Kino Casino, in my own personal opinion.
All right? And you guys know me. You do. I am a very planned out individual. I like having a set schedule. I like having an outline for everything I'm going to do. If there's an appearance coming up, I want to announce it ahead of time to hype it up so we know what's going on and people can be excited for it. You know what I'm saying?
Why would anybody be excited for something that they already wanted? Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And if you're supposedly going to deliver on it, what's the big deal? And why do you need everybody to be hyped up for things? Why can't things just naturally happen? Why do you have to have control of the situation, control of the narrative, control of the enthusiasm? And you wonder why shit gets faded out, people get disappointed, the whales dried up. That's what happens when you want to fucking be a control junkie. But then again, he is an addict. So who's to say that an addict can't have more than one addiction?
So it's frustrating to me that right now I can't say to you guys, definitively, here's what's going on with the schedule. I can't. It could be that in the next few days, Zach contacts me and says, hey, okay, let's do it on Monday. Okay, so then that's happening. It could be that he...
Why are you referring to him by first name? You don't know that guy. And you never referred to him by Zach before. And this goes back, ladies and gentlemen, to that shit that I told you about him, Flamenco, a lot of these guys who are just fucking chronically online and shit and don't have too many interactions with people outside of or offline. This is what they do. Just because he's this close to getting Asmongold locked in, now you think you can just start calling people by their government names and shit? You don't know that guy. You guys aren't friends and shit. I mean, he don't care. It's all over his social media, but that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? You don't just start referring to people by their first names like that. That's not what he goes by. He goes by Asmongold. You could call him Zach, but he goes by Asmongold. I don't know if he thinks that builds a stronger connection between the two of them, but it don't. It just makes you come across that much more stalkerish. And truth be told, maybe that's yet again part of DSP's obsession. You know what I'm saying? It by him saying Zach's name or Asmongold's name, he feels like they have a much stronger connection or they're establishing a bond, which is weird. That's really fucking weird, but whatever.
literally ghosts me and never speaks to me ever again, but continues to watch detractor content, and I can't help that if that's the case. It could be somewhere in between. I don't know what's going to happen. So I can't tell you what's happening next week. I'll put it this way. If I don't hear from Asmongold by, say, the weekend, the end of Friday, that's the end of my business week, then I'll consider it that we're not going to do the show together. And then I'll move on my merry way and just do whatever I want. Okay.
So that's your ultimatum? Okay. What's preventing you from doing what you want in the first place? Like, you could have scheduled Wings in on that Monday. Like, why does it have to be on a Monday and Tuesday anyway? Why are you limiting yourself if that's the case? It sounds like poor planning. And it sounds like you're being a bitch and you want him desperately to turn you into some internet housewife and whatever. And you're doing whatever you can to clean the snort for it up for him to do that. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're literally trying to work your schedule around him instead of, doing what you need to do and then scheduling him like a mature adult does later. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're trying everything you can to accommodate him and whatnot. Phil, go in there, put on one of Kat's dresses, and you put her fucking heels on and shit, and prance around like PPP had you doing, if that's the case. Because that's what it sounds like. That's basically what he's doing. Like, you sound like a hoe. To be frank, you sound like a hoe. Jesus Christ, have some self-respect, man.
Okay? He can reach out by Friday. Okay? It's that simple. And if I don't hear from him by Friday, then it's done. All right? Okay. Done. Because I want to lock in. Like, right now, I would like nothing more than to say, hey, Wings will be on the
And see, something, I'm sorry, but something doesn't even sound right. Because you're giving him an ultimatum that you want to hear something by Friday. And if not, then it's just done. This is the biggest opportunity you're ever going to get. And you're willing to just let it go just like that over a week? Nah, Slim. Nah. Well, you're not Slim, but nobody in that house is Slim. But nah, that don't even sound right. That sounds off. That sounds off. It sounds like he already knows. And he just doesn't, and he's just trying to build up the anticipation because, DSP is a fucking hype beast and whatnot. That's what it really sounds like. That's how it really comes off, I should say. It sounds like he already knew that him and Asmon had it basically locked in. And he's just trying to build up some type of bullshit. Like I said, building up anticipation. That's what it really comes across.
Show on the 24th or the 1st. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All right? So let's see. Let's go from there.
Because that's the only thing I can think of that would justify him trying to act nonchalant while still sounding very panicked. Even manic to some degree.
Okay? So that's the thing. If you guys come back to the streams this week and you ask me these things, I'm going to say, I don't know. Don't ask me. You know who to ask. His name is Asmongold. He streams every day. You could go over there and ask him. Because I don't know what he's doing. He hasn't spoken to me. Okay? There you go. Okay. So that's that. So I will have, if I have an update, I'll let you know. Like if I hear from Asmongold or whatever, I will absolutely positively let you know. But in the meantime, there's just no reason to really bring it up because I don't know what's going on. Okay? Done. Thanks for ghosting me.
Just trying to shift the blame and responsibility onto him. Yeah, this something don't sound right about the situation. Something don't sound right about the situation. Oh man, holy shit!
Hey, bro.
Great screenshot, by the way.
Okay. Honestly, okay, if the appearance happens, great. If not, okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to be very upset and I'm going to point and waggle my finger in extreme disapproval. And no one wants that. In reality, I actually don't care. I'm serious. I'm more interested in doing it because you guys seem interested in it happening at this point. You guys are like pumped and been talking about it nonstop. At this point, like I get the initial interest and it's like, well, if we didn't lock it in and schedule it and have it happen, then I'm I'm the kind.
Now keep in mind, this is coming from the same mongoloid sat there, been chasing Wings for last 2 years, been chasing LTG for 3, still obsessing about Stuttering Craig for over 2. And like I said, the one time that you get a big name, bigger than all the names that you've tried to chase after, at least so far, and you're willing to let it go like that. Nah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Asmongold had to have reached out to him. This is on the 18th, I think it was. So Asmongold had to have reached out to him the 17th or early on the 18th, before DSP started streaming. He had to have already known that him and Asmon were going to lock this in. Because remember, DSP wants to always be the face in the situation. He wants to act like he's so busy and he's so high and mighty. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's never panicking about anything. The sky's never falling. That's what this comes across. Sounds like inside. This is insider trading here. That's what this is.
Kind of guy, I have that mind that I like planning. And if I can't plan it, I don't like to do it. You know what I mean? Like right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty stupid way of living your life, Phil, but all right. We've seen how far that got you. Bankruptcy, you know what I'm saying? Foreclosure. Yeah, you planned for those things, Phil? Was that what that was? Was that organized planning? Is that how you kept those bills together? You lost your little live-in fucking underage girlfriend and shit? Was that part of the plan too? You sat there and poached another man's damaged property, damaged goods, and whatnot, so you could bring her into your home? Was that all planned too? Yeah, I'm just, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just pointing out what he's saying. If he's really so organized, I've got maybe 100 different situations that I can think of off the top of my head that I have questions about. Is that how he plans stuff?
Now, if Asmongold said, I just want you to drop your stream right now and I'll have you on as a guest, you know what I would say? No.
Bullshit. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. He'd be panicked about it, but he'd do it.
I'm not like that. I hate that. I'd rather do what I have planned so you guys know what's going on. And then, hey.
Now, keep in mind, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, this is someone who literally for 8 months hoed himself out to fucking Kino Casino at a drop of a dime. And I'm supposed to think that you wouldn't drop everything for Asmongold. The distance between DSP and Asmongold is fucking, it's mammoth. If you're a man, well, yeah, mammoth. So it's a mammoth fucking space. You know what I mean? It's the distance is huge. It's fucking ginormous, gargantuous, if you will. You know what I'm saying? That's the distance between DSP and Asmongold. Kino Casino wouldn't even be considered halfway in between that. And look at how DSP went bent over backwards for those guys. Make it make sense.
We'll plan it. We'll actually have it set in stone. We'll, you know, that's how I operate. Now, everyone drop everything for me because I'm important.
It's funny too, because if you have to tell people how you do things, it probably would lead people to think that that's not how you do things. Just saying.
And I want to do it now. Same thing with Keemstar. That's how Keemstar was. Every time Keemstar wanted to do something, it's like, Phil, drop your stream, drop whatever you're doing right now. Read my tweet, read this DM, do this with me now. No, that's not okay. I have, and I'll name the segment later, already done. It's been sitting in the clip for like 3 months probably at this point. Where I talk about how DSP tried to sabotage Lolcow Live. And because he couldn't get Boogie and Wings to do what he wanted, he purposely fucked them out of their cut of the $150,000 of the advance. It's all in there. Well, I'll drop that eventually. But he purposely screwed those guys on purpose. He needed those guys to side with him before he talked to Keem. And he couldn't do it because he knew that Boogie was already in pocket, Wings was already in pocket, and he had no leverage. So he purposely made Keem like basically do phone tag to try to piss him off and irritate him. And then got mad that Boogie and Wings wouldn't side with him later on after all that bullshit. Even when they didn't get the 50 grand, it's allegedly they got half of that. So whatever that. But even when they didn't get the 50 grand, DSP was mad that they were mad at him that he basically fucked them out of money because that's what he did. That's not how actual adults operate. Now, you may be a... being an adult was basically basically crying on your stream that Asmongold is a bitch, and then sending him an email calling him a bitch. Or no, sending him an email apologizing for calling him a bitch and saying it was the only way I could get you to talk to me. So think about that for a second. He was being unprofessional on Twitter and on his stream, on DSP streams, saying, hey, we should talk. We need to have a conversation sometime. But DSP thought it was professional calling another person a bitch because he couldn't get this person to do what he wanted, and then sucked his dick in DMs later to apologize for calling him a bitch. Okay, it's a choice. Popular streamer on the internet, whether it's Keemstar, Asmongold, or whoever, but I come from the world of normalcy. I come from a world where I used to work at an office job for 5 years, and we had to do like order, schedules, professionalism. It seems like I'm one of the rare people in the industry that actually has an air of professionalism when it.
You mean the same job you got fired from? You mean the same job that the only reason why you got it was because of your daddy? Because of nepotism, essentially? You mean that job? Is that what you want to talk about? Let's continue to talk about your professionalism, Phil. What about all the prior jobs that you had that you got fired from? Were you being professional then? Were you being organized then? Was your strategical, tactical mind being worked and exercised at that point? Was your analytical mind in full display at those points? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Comes to this kind of stuff, and that's maybe why I'm different and I stand out, because I have a set schedule where you know exactly what I'm doing every day, because it's easy to reach me and contact me, and I actually follow up and respond and say and do what I say I'm going to do, but then others don't.
That's not true, because Keem said that you said that you were going to be streaming at such and such times. He contacted you and you didn't pick up, and you said, "Oh, well, the reason why I didn't contact you didn't pick up because you were streaming at that time." But that was the time that you told Keem to reach out to you. So it's funny how we're having a bitch fit at Asmongold for some shit that DSP has done to somebody else. Imagine that.
I don't know. It's starting to be a pattern, to be frank. Okay, so I don't know.
And all of this just to beg for another man's attention. That's the really sad part about all this. We can do fuck all to spend time with our wife, go ahead and take her on a honeymoon, do anything productive with her. But he can spend all of this time obsessing about other men on the internet. Something to think about. Just something to take in.
We'll see what happens. That's that. I got it out of the way. Now we can talk about other topics, all right? And by the way, no matter what, I am going to have another appearance with Wings of Redemption for sure. That's definitely happening. It's just a question of when. It's not a question of if. It's a question of will it be Monday? Will it be the Monday after? I don't know yet. I'll let you know.
He's turned Wings into a security blanket. That's crazy. That's so crazy. He's literally turned Wings into a fucking security blanket. I'd like to say sorry to you, Wings, but fuck you. You get what you get.
Okay. And you know what? How about this? I will publicly apologize right now to Jordy.
Put your fucking unwashed hoof down. I don't want to see that shit. It's gross.
Okay? I will. Because he deserves an apology, because I should have by now locked in the date that he would be appearing. And now because of all this other stuff going on, I haven't been able to do that.
So because you couldn't get Daddy Asmon to fucking acknowledge you and shit, now you want to apologize to the redhead stepchild, which is Wings of Redemption? Is that what the play is? Is that what this is? Just in case Wings decides to grow a pair and might be like, well, I'm done talking to DSP, I'm good. So now we got to go ahead and try to keep our security blanket in check just in case they decide to fucking grow a pair and walk away. Yikes. Boy, shit must be rough in the Snort Fort right now, Phil. I bet you're missing that fucking Kino Casino stimulus package, huh? You were riding high this time last year, Phil. Some of that money was coming in and shit. You thought the internet fucking was looking at you differently. They were recognizing you. They were seeing your resurgence. And now look at you. Back to a fucking common fucking e-beggar a year later. Wow. Yikes. That resurgence was time well spent, I'm sure.
So I do want to publicly apologize to him. You deserve better. I wish that I could actually lock in with a date with you, but I can't right now.
So it's not my fault. It's Asmongold's fault. Holy shit. Woo, shit. Oh, man. Oh, man. Phil, you're going to give me so much ammo walking into that Taking L's video series about you. You're going to give me so much ammo walking into that bitch. Holy shit. Oh my God, that's just going to be fun. That's just going to be fun. Big ups to Logan K and to his collaborators and whatnot on that project. But good God, Phil, you're going to give me so many examples. I mean, I already had some good ones, but you're making it a whole lot easier.
Okay?
It's not my fault. It's Asmongold's fault. Sorry, Wings.
Okay. All right. How's everyone this morning? Who do we got on stream? Let's take a look. We've got You're Not Funny, Original Grant, Bookworm, Glimbo Goat. What kind of a name is that?
I don't know. One that a dit would probably have, I guess. since we're doing the fucking morning roll call and shit. Like, what are we, back in elementary school? What the fuck is this? This isn't homeroom, Phil.
Chris, Blue Mist, Hungry Man. Who else do we got? Swaggy, Deadpool. How you guys doing?
This is literally a roll call. I don't care what anybody says. This is literally a roll call. Make sure everybody's in their seats on time.
Over on...
And I just gave you guys the morning announcements or the business schedule and whatnot, or the business plan for the day. Holy shit.
We got John Bono, Dark Side Dabbing, username already taken. A Sisyphus Boulder, very nice. RGB Kings, Floristic? I couldn't read it, it went too fast. You get it? Sean Gates Legacy. How you guys doing over there?
How are you this greasy already? It astounds me how quickly he can just... You just got up. You're just getting on stream and you're already greasy. That's just gross. Gross.
Very nice. Stoneforce Gamer as well. How you doing? By the way, we have our first contribution of the day from Red Eyes, who did a $5 super chat. Set the record straight. Don't let the losers write the narrative and unjustly label you. Defend yourself.
There's nothing for him to defend because he's literally having to speak against himself. It's present Phil trying to cover up and sweep for the sins of past Phil. And he can sit there and say, you take it out of context, it's being misconstrued, it's being edited funny, or whatever other lame-ass excuse that comes into his head. At the end of the day, it's still him. It's still his words. How do you combat that?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what the point of this co-stream was going to be. I wanted Asmongold to ask me things from the detractor content he's seen.
I thought Asmongold wanted to talk to you, though. I'm already confused, but now you want him... Now you want Asmongold to talk to you or ask you questions about the detractor content. Okay, sure, okay.
And then I could actually tell him the truth of the matter.
You mean like how you did with side scrollers? I mean how you told them the truth? I don't know, Phil. I don't know if that's really in your stock and trade.
Like, Phil's been banned from Twitch. Wrong.
Yeah, you have been banned from Twitch a couple of times and whatnot. And you sat there and you sucked dick behind the scenes and you got back up. You're still banned. Shit, one of those bans was an indefinite ban. He should have never been able to come back from that. And yet he did.
I've been temporarily suspended from Twitch once or twice. Okay.
No. You've been banned from Twitch a whole shitload of times, bruh. For various infractions. He's been warned multiple times. Like back in the day when this fucking bum, because that's what he is, a bum. He's a bum. When this bum was sitting there trying to do fucking fundraisers on Twitch and was trying to farm, just to try to be generous about this, was trying to farm bits. Farming pennies, basically. And he damn near got an infraction for that. He almost got, I want to say he almost got suspended for that, or he did get suspended. For like, it was like 2 days maybe. Maybe something along those lines. He definitely got a talking to for it, for sure. I don't know if he actually got suspended for that, but he definitely got a talking to. And that was mid 2017. And I want to say that was right, we're getting into, or it was right at the beginning of Save the House and whatnot, when he was starting to do these like crazy ass begging situations. So if it wasn't 2017, mid 2017, it was early 2018 when he did that bullshit. I want to tell you it was 2017. I want to tell you it was 2017 because I want to tell you it was not long after the whole Twitch loves me and my streams, and that's when they built the anti-bullying system, basically using DSP as their template or their guinea pig, if you will. And it was around that time.
But I've never actually been banned. What happened was in regards to the partner program, which was a very unprofessional handling of things on the Twitch side of things, which is what spurred me to leave the site. And
no, that's not what happened. Man, God damn it, Phil. Like, if you're the school teacher, man, then I must be the principal or assistant principal. One of the dean, I guess. I have to be somewhere in the pecking order. That's not what happened. What happened is the very last time, right? Instead of kicking him off the site, because at that point, Twitch didn't really see the need to kick bums off the site. it was just easier to demonetize them. So what happened was, not only, this is the crazy part, not only did they kick his ass out of the partner program, which happens to a lot of people, believe it or not. Well, not a lot, but it does happen. Getting kicked out of the partner program. But they demonetized him too. Usually, you can get kicked out of affiliate or partner, and you can still keep monetization in some way, shape, or form. Right? They booted his ass out of both. They just sent his ass to the fucking broke boy nether realm on both fronts. And then he tried to stick around for like a month and a half, see if he could live off tips. When that shit didn't work, then he fucked off. So you could still say, oh, well, he left on his own accord. Sure, I'll give you that. But the reason why is because he couldn't make any money on that site. Let's reword that. He couldn't make any money through that site anymore. He can still beg for money for tips because tips are PayPal. That's completely separate. But he couldn't make any money through Twitch anymore. And that's why he fucked off and left. And when Asmongold went to look at his account and whatnot, he saw that the account was closed. At first glance, you could understand how, oh, well, he must have been banned. Asmongold knows what that's like. His main account was banned, earlier this year? He got it back. I don't think he streams on it, though. I think he streams on his secondary account. So, womp womp. It's an easy mistake to make. But he wasn't wrong. You have been banned. At one time or another.
Eventually decide to never stream there again and close my account of my own volition.
That's not true either. You closed your account because of the situation. Because you were either still following Derek, or Derek was still fucking around, was still associated with your account in some way, and you got rid of it because of that. But even then, I don't even think that's the real reason. I think the real reason why he shut down his Twitch account is because I've seen this. There was trolls that would show up in the comment section every once in a while on some silly shit and whatnot, and he would have to, and you could see in times that he would like go over there and he'd be banning them in real time. I want to tell you, it was a Tevin restream, it was like a Tevin stream or something, where this is when DSP still had his account open, and I think Tevin went to went over to DSP's Twitch channel, and you can see people in DSP's comment, in the DSP comment section, fucking basically putting out the typical memes or whatever, but you could see they're being deleted in real time. So I'm thinking that's what the situation was, but don't hold me to that.
Right now, I could reopen my account and stream immediately. But I don't want to.
Also, I've been formulating this theory for a while. I think another reason why DSP deleted deactivated his account, let's say that, because he didn't delete it, he deactivated it. I think another reason why DSP deactivated his account is because when he comes back, because he will eventually go back to Twitch, I think he's going to try to reapply for monetization and probably even partnership, and he thinks he'll get it. Now, remember, Tevin told us a long time ago. If you guys have been watching Tevin for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. Once you gain partnership, you don't lose it. If something drastic has to happen for you to lose partnership. How did that conversation come up? Somebody I want to say it was someone in Tevin's chat had asked him a question about it. And, because referring to when DSP deactivated his account the first time, all those years ago, when he took his ball and ran home over the bitrate situation. I think DSP is going to try to recreate the same circumstances. His account got demonetized and he's been kicked out of the partner program. And then after this whole thing with Derek happened, he sat there and deactivated his account, or because people were trolling on his account, whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. I think what DSP is planning on doing when he does eventually go back to Twitch is he's going to reactivate the account and then immediately try to apply for partnership, hoping that he'll slip through the cracks, that no one will notice what happened before or see any of his previous infractions on a face level, and they'll just be like, oh, okay, we'll just slide him into monetization and maybe even slide him back into partnership. That's what I'm thinking. I can't prove that. This is just me running off assumptions. But that's what I think he's actually doing.
Desire to do that. And I can explain that entire thing to him, But in truth, what it seems like is going to happen is he's going to field questions from my detractors, okay? And then he's going to ask the same fucking questions that I've been asked 4,000 times. I'm going to give him the same answers, and he's going to make judgments for himself, which more than likely will be, oh, I don't believe him because everyone says he's a liar. So it's going to be the same song and dance as every single person. So is it really a big deal? Probably not. I don't think it's going to really do much, honestly.
So then why go up there then? Why talk to him if you know that you're not going to get anything out of it? And you're just going to go through the same crucible that you did previous times? What's the point?
If immediately we had gotten on a stream together.
Because he's kind of admitting that he's just going to lie to him. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he's admitting that, hey, I'm just going to lie to him the same way I lied to everybody previously. You don't think there's not going to be any ramifications of that? All right, let me lock in. Let me lock in.
And he, off the top of his head, asked me the questions that he actually had in his head before his head got completely filled with the nonsense from my detractors. Then maybe it would have been an interesting appearance.
Wait, why is it that you want him to walk in ignorant? Why is it that you don't want him to know anything about you, and you think that'll make it an interesting situation? Oh, so you can manipulate him any way you see fit. So you can paint the narrative any way you want and say, oh, everything that you heard, that was all misconstrued. It was all lies and whatnot. That's not what really happened. This is what really happened. Only listen to me. He's basically saying, I'm mad that I can't hit you with pig noses. And that's why he was so desperate to get this going as quickly as possible. That sounds weird as hell.
But instead, delay, let everything just influence him, and now it's not going to matter anymore. Right? Isn't that a real take? I think it is.
But Asmongold has been laughing at you for years, so how stupid do you think he is? He's basically saying he thinks Asmongold is stupid. Oh, this is kind of fascinating.
It's always the same song and fucking dance. If the side scrollers had me on their show within like a week of wanting me on, instead of sitting there saying, I want a question from every fucking detractor, and I want every negative take on Phil, and then just treat it as if it's all true and throw it at me on the interview, maybe the interview wouldn't have been boring.
Oh shit. He's admitting that he lied to side scrollers on purpose as punishment. Oh, I need to rehear this. I need to rehear this. I need to rehear this. That's what that shit sounds like. Oh, tell me what kind of sick little monkey you are without telling me you're a sick little monkey.
So is it really a big deal? Probably not. I don't think it's going to really do much, honestly. If immediately we had gotten on a stream together and he had, off the top of his head, asked me the questions that he actually had in his head before his head got completely filled with the nonsense from my detractors, then maybe it would have been an interesting appearance. But instead, delay, let everything just influence him, and now it's not going to matter anymore. Right?
So basically that gives you like justification to lie to Asmongold because he didn't move on your time frame. Because you feel like he's already been corrupted or even tainted by the detractor narrative. So I can feed him whatever, so you can feed him, I should say, whatever bullshit you want in, well, suck's a suck. An answer is an answer. It doesn't matter if it's truth or not. An answer is still an answer. Oh my. Oh, that's audacious.
Right? Isn't that a real take? I think it is. Because it's always the same song and fucking dance. If the side scrollers had me on their show within like a week of wanting me on, instead of sitting there saying, I want a question from every fucking detractor, and I want every negative take on Phil, and then just treat it as if it's all true and throw it at me on the interview, maybe the interview wouldn't have been boring. But instead, it was 5 hours of the same questions everyone always asked me. I gave the same answers. They didn't like the answers. And then they went on to do what they did.
He's admitting right here that he lied to them as punishment. He basically was like, you guys fucked me over from Jump Street, so I was going to just waste your time. So I did. Because remember, DSP didn't see any value in the interview at that point. So at that point, he just did the interview just so he could get that additional seat on side scrollers, the same one that he still watches day to day and that he still covets. He's literally admitting here that he lied to them. He went into it lying to them as punishment for not taking his word. But the only reason why he stuck with it is because he wanted that reoccurring seat on the panel later. That's disgusting. I got to tell you, and I'm not a good person, so, you know, don't get it twisted. I'm not going to moral fag you, but that's disgusting. that you'd go out your way to waste people's time, not even to try to muddy the narrative, just because you think Craig offered you a pot of gold at the very end of it, so you just went through the motions just to get there. He didn't go over there to try to clear anything up. He didn't go over there to set anything straight. He knew that the detractor influence was already too strong. So fuck it, I'm just gonna lie my way through it and then give me my prize, give me my treat at the end of it. This is a 40-something-year-old man, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little bit caught off guard by that. I mean, we already knew. But hearing him say it that way is different. That hits a little different. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, let's continue.
But so that's just it. So I guess we'll see what happens, okay? Because that's the truth. I just wanted to have a conversation with a guy who had watched some detractor content, but didn't actually know that much about me, had never actually had a conversation with me. You know, let's talk, get to know me a little bit.
He's preying on Asmongold's ignorance. And this is what he does to everybody, basically, that he wants to interview him. He's preying upon your ignorance. Here's the thing. If it's all a lie, then why can't you just dispel it? Because it's not a lie. So if you take the quote unquote narrative over what I have to tell you, right? Before I can induce the pignosis, I'll still talk to you, but I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you by lying to you. I'm going to punish you by wasting your time. And I don't care what happens afterwards because I'm justified or I feel justified. I've got so much more I could pull out of this. I need to think on that though. Oh, you sick, sick little mentally ill monkey. Oh my. I've got a whole fucking fun house worth of shit that I want to do now. Oh my. Oh my.
I'll give you my take on everything. Make judgments for yourself. But when you say, well, I want input from every detractor, then that you're not making a judgment.
Here, let me bring this back up. Yo, he's literally banking on the ignorance of others to get through, which is something I've already said anyway. But that's despicable. That's damn near demonic. The way he's going about that. That's something different. That hits different. Holy shit. Damn.
Answers. They didn't like the answers. And then they went on to do what they did.
And then he makes it sound like they had no justification for shitting on him the next day and saying they didn't believe him and this, that, and the third, despite what he did. Funhouse worth of shit playing for you. Oh boy, I need a way of doing that. I gotta make a phone call.
But so that's just it. So I guess we'll see what happens, okay? Because that's the truth. I just wanted to have a conversation with a guy who had watched some detractor content, but didn't actually know that much about me, had never actually had a conversation with me. You know, let's talk, get to know me a little bit. I'll give you my take on everything. Make judgments for yourself. But when you say, well, I want input from every detractor, then that you're not making a judgment for yourself. All you're doing is you're getting that negative take and you're letting that permeate you. And now you've made your decision based on the insane crowd of assholes on the internet who say things about me because they want personal gain. So there you go.
He really believes he's the end all be all. And even if he lied, he thinks, oh, if he explains the lie to you and why he did it, he thinks he can justify it and that automatically will smooth things over. So he's literally looking for smooth brain individuals. He's not looking for, and I've said this, so have others, but I've said this, he's not looking for actual thinkers. He's not looking for people to push back at him or come at him with another frame of thought. He's looking for smooth brain individuals who will sponge up everything that he says en masse, on consignment, to be honest. Oh my.
Okay. Anyway, so that's that. Let's move on. Let's talk about what's going on with all my playthroughs now, and then let's talk about the Game Awards. All right. So, playthrough-wise, things are.
Oh wow. That's despicable. Oh, that's tough. See, I never thought about doing a top 10 worst moments, and I'm still not going to. I'll leave that for far more talented people. But I have thought about a series similar to that, to where DSP just some of the wildest shit that DSP says, and use that. Those aren't really moments, if you will, but just some of the wildest shit that DSP said. I have thought about that, and I may pull the trigger on some of that shit, because you don't have to. It doesn't have to be just month to month or even year to year. You can just pick some of the wildest shit that he said through different arcs and sagas and make something out of it. Oh my. I have ideas. I need to wait. I want to do it in like a short form type of way, though. You know me, I'm long in the teeth with it. So we need something a little bit more compact and easier to digest. And then we can put it into something more long form later. Okay, I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to really sit down and think about that and whatnot. Okay. Big ups to Raw Phil, big ups to Diggs. That's disgusting. Holy fuck, that's disgusting as shit. Oh my. Okay, final thoughts, and then I'll let y'all go. Oh boy. That's tough. That's tough. Because he literally admits, excuse me, he literally admits that he wants to talk to someone who's only seen enough detractor content, right? So DSP can flip or spin. DSP likes to use that word a lot. He can spin the narrative that look at how bad these people are. This is what really happened and whatnot, right? He's trying to put his, like I say, he's trying to induce his own pignosis. Big ups to Snorp now. He's trying to induce his own pignosis so he can get over. So don't talk to the detractors. Don't listen to the detractor narrative. Listen to me. And then he thinks that what he says is strong enough or convincing enough or compelling enough to go ahead and people will just hand wave whatever detractor content that they see later. And even try to turn them into the enemy. Which means what, ladies and gentlemen? Remember how I was saying that DSP wanted June the King as well as Frederick Knudsen down the rabbit hole. He wanted those two guys to make detractor hit pieces for him. He can't get that from the two of those guys. Those two guys aren't interested in doing it. So now he wants to use large influencers and have them essentially be his mouthpiece. To have them to be essentially his weapon against his opposition. Interesting. It's not even cunning, though. It's not even well thought out. Because there's so many, like, if I was to really sit here and think about it, there's so many variables. There's so many things that could go wrong, right? Like, if you're saying, oh, I want you to talk to me, and they have to do it within a set period of time. If DSP has enough time, or as much time, to stalk these people and stay on top of them, to make sure that they're going to actually have the conversation or whatever, and find out exactly what they know about them and what exactly they're going to talk about, then how much time do you think those people would have or be willing to make to find out more about you? So he's not only depending on ignorance, but he also has almost like a mental timetable in place where you have to speak to me within this period of time, within this incubation time period. If not, you'll be tainted and you'll be useless to me. And then you'll be forcing me to have to go up there and lie to you because you're not going to listen to me either which way. You're already going to think I'm a liar. So why not? Not realizing that you're just living up to the very thing that assholes like me say. And you don't have any justification for that. That's insane. Anyway, I'll end up tackling all this later when we go over the entire arc in itself. That's insane. Holy shit, that's kind of insane. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully I don't sound like shit when I do it. Oh my, that's some wild shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Snort Report. This has been DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG network of productions. For the Snort Report, SnortBucks Coffee Company, Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, Tim Snortons, and everybody else at GTG Network of Productions and all of our subsidiaries and affiliates. I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, my peoples. And yikes. That's all I can really fucking say to that shit. Just yikes, bro. Yikes. Later. Damn.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But you know, now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket.